Bob.
Hello, John.
See, listen, I saw Ian McFarlane. He came in here to the hospital yesterday. He looks very fit.
He's made remarkable progress.
I'm glad to hear that. After all, I feel he was my patient for a while, too, while you were in England.
Indeed he was.
Yeah. You know, you're a pretty good psychiatrist as well as being a good heart man.
What makes you say that?
Well, I think the way you realize that his wife would be very important to his recovery, her care, her constant encouragement.
Well, that wasn't too hard to understand.
Well, maybe not, maybe not. But I admire the stand you took. After all, you are involved with the woman. Well, a lot of men in that position would not have been that unselfish. I understand you've set the date.
Yes, we have.
Well, congratulations. I wish you the very best.
Thanks, John.
Welcome.
Hi. Hey, Kim. How are you? Good to see you.
Oh, good to see you, too.
Did you have a good visit with Lisa?
Yes, I did. Very nice. Bob, I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
Did you by any chance see the lights on or hear any noise coming from my apartment night before last?
Well, no, I didn't. But weren't you still away?
Yeah, I was, but I've had complaints from a couple of my neighbors, and I don't really understand it.
I'm afraid I can't help you with that one.
Huh. Well, okay. Listen, why don't you and Dana come and have dinner with me one night soon?
Hey, we'd love that, but we better make it after Thanksgiving.
Oh, well, okay, fine. I'll call and make a definite time.
Terrific. See you soon.
All right, bye.
Hi.
Hello, John.
How was lunch with Grant?
It was very nice. He wanted to hear all about Lisa.
Ah, well, I'm not surprised. Even after a divorce, a man will worry about the woman he was married to.
Excuse me,
Say,
John.
listen, I heard what you were talking about with Bob. What's that all about?
Well, I tell you the truth, I don't really know. I'm looking for Melinda because I hope maybe she could explain it to me, but I got here and the bookstore was closed, so I came up here to see if she'd left a message.
Oh, well, listen, I tell you, a couple of minutes ago, she was down in the cafeteria.
Really? Okay, I'll try her there. Thank you.
If you're going down there, I'd be glad to buy you a cup of coffee.
Thanks, no, John. I want to talk to her for just a few minutes, and then I have to get right back downtown to the main store.
Hello, Mary.
Hi. How's it going in court?
Fine. Just took a recess for lunch. Any calls while I was in court?
A few. Oh, and Mr. Lockhart is very anxious to talk to you.
All right, I'll get back to him. When did Ralph call?
About an hour ago. He's going to be out of the office all day, but he said he'd call first thing in the morning.
Okay, I've got to talk to him.
Can't get over the way Jay acted at that meeting.
You know, I can't either. I was ready to give him the benefit of the doubt until he blew up that way. It seems to me his behavior was that of somebody who was guilty, who's becoming overly defensive.
I know. I hate to admit it, but I agree with you.
Yeah.
Hi, Grant.
Oh, hello, Grant. Hello, Tom. Mary, I'll call Lockhart right now.
Okay.
Mary, could you pull this out of the file for me, please?
Yeah.
Grant, Mom called about 20 minutes ago.
Oh?
Yeah, she and Bennett are leaving this afternoon to spend a few days in New York.
Oh, I see. How'd your son?
She's out in a very good mood. She even sent her best to you.
She must have been in a very good mood.
Yeah.
Kim got back from the inn last night, and I had a long talk with her over lunch.
Oh, did she enjoy her trip?
Well, for the most part, Tom, yeah. But there was something she said that worries me a bit.
What's that?
She said she found a page that had been torn out of what evidently had been Ruth Hadley's diary. And Ruth had written about being held prisoner in her room and being terrified.
What?
Well, I don't know, but something or someone up there frightened her enough that she made a note about it and then tore out the page. I'm sure she was afraid that someone would read it.
What does Bennett mean by pray Hester was wrong? Wrong about what? And what did he mean earlier today when we were talking about things coming full circle? Oh, dear. I've been looking forward so much to this trip, and now I feel a little frightened. Oh, this all must have something to do with Ruth, just like everything else up here. Ruth. Getting so I hate the sound of that name.
Patsy, what are you doing here? I wanted to talk to you before school, so I took a bus and came over here.
Oh?
Melinda, please don't say anything to Kim about the party the other night.
Betsy, I told you I'd have to think about it. Now I need to figure out what's best for everyone.
Does that mean you haven't decided yet?
No. But I hope you understand that it's really impossible to keep that sort of thing a secret.
I do. And I know that you were right, that it is awful to keep telling lies.
Then why don't you tell Kim about the party yourself?
Melinda, I want to, but I can't. Kim will be so hurt, and I know she'll ground me, and she probably won't let me see Lois outside of school.
Melinda?
Oh, Kim. I'm so glad that you're back. Please sit down.
Thank you. How are you?
Fine.
Good.
How was your trip?
Oh, it was very nice. Thank you.
Lisa's okay?
Yes, she's very busy making plans for the wedding and getting busy to refurbish the inn. And as a matter of fact, she and Bennett are heading for New York today.
Oh, yes, I got their wedding invitation the other day.
Oh, good. She's hoping all her friends can come.
Well, I don't know if I can, but I'll certainly try. Oh, before I forget, let me give you back that spare key to your apartment.
Were you able to get over there?
Yes. Matt and I stopped by the night before last. We watered the plants and brought in the mail.
I thank you very much.
Oh, you don't have to thank me, Kim. It was really no trouble at all.
Melinda, I've had complaints from a couple of my neighbors about a lot of noise that was coming from my apartment night before last. Do you have any idea what that could be about?
Oh, Kim.
What's the matter?
I almost wish you hadn't asked that question.
Why?
I've been sitting here debating with myself whether I should tell you or not. But I guess since you asked, I really have no choice.
What are you talking about?
Well, you see, when Matt and I arrived at your place, your living room was full of high school kids.
You mean there was a party?
Well, the stereo was pretty loud, and yes, I guess you'd have to call it a party.
Betsy was having a party.
I'm afraid so, along with her friend Lois, who seemed to be pretty much in charge, too.
Were they drinking?
Oh, yes, they had beer. Pitchers, and they had a keg in the kitchen.
Well, I guess I got my answer, didn't I? Almost wish I hadn't.
Kim, I talked to Betsy, and I told her that she should tell you about it. I was hoping by now that she had. I didn't want to be the one to tell you.
No, she hasn't said a word to me about it.
She really feels very guilty.
Why would she do something like this?
Well, I blame her friend Lois, because Betsy is so influenced by her. She's so bent on being popular, she would do just about anything that Lois
I'm
wants.
sorry, I can't blame Lois. Betsy and I had a whole long talk about this very thing once before when she and Lois had invited some boys to the house and hadn't told me about it. And Betsy promised me that she would ask permission from then on, and she didn't keep her word.
Well, I still feel that Lois masterminded the whole thing.
Well, maybe she did, but Betsy still knows the difference between right and wrong. Well, she obviously planned this thing behind my back. She knew I was going to be away. I suppose she thought she wouldn't get caught.
Oh, Kim, I'm so sorry about all of this. Betsy is a good kid. I mean, sometimes kids make mistakes. It's part of growing up.
Yeah, but I can't let this pass that way. My goodness, if I do, then the next time it'll be so much easier for her to make a mistake. I have to confront her with it. She's got to learn her lesson once and for all.
I suppose. Except, Kim, she only gave the party to be accepted by her friends. I can understand how important that is at her age.
Melinda, being accepted is not nearly as important as being honest and trustworthy.
You're right. Oh, poor Betsy. I'm sure she's very unhappy about things right now, mixed up too.
Well, I would think so. I guess I'm going to have to tell Lois's mother, too. I think she works at night, so she probably has no idea what's going on. Did the girls have plans to study at Lois's that night?
In fact, they were quite anxious to get back before Lois's mother came home.
I bet they were. Well, whatever she does with Lois, that, of course, is her business, but I feel I really have to tell her.
Kim, what are you going to do about Betsy?
I don't know yet.
I have to get my social studies book. I hope I'm not late for my next class.
Oh, relax, will you?
You know, it takes a lot longer to eat at the burger stand than it does in the cafeteria. We shouldn't have gone there today.
If you're late, you're late. Honestly, I think you invent reasons to worry sometimes.
Well, I am worried about Melinda, too. I bet you anything she's going to tell Kim.
Well, even if she does, it's your word against hers, right?
She's going to believe her.
Beth, let me give you one piece of advice. This is what I do, and it always works.
What?
Well, when my mom accuses me of something, or even asks me anything, I deny it. I tell her straight out she's wrong.
You mean you lie?
Well, if I have to, but, she's not always right.
Lois.
Look, do you want to listen to me or not? Then I turn on the tears, and I remind her I'm still very upset about the divorce. That always gets to her. And the tears always work, too. But the most important part is that you remember to deny everything. Oh, listen. Hey, I'll see you after last period, okay?
Lisa, I wondered what happened to you.
I was wondering about you. That's why I came in to check. Are you about ready to leave?
Yeah, just about. Hester's pressing a jacket I want to take along. Oh, she asked me if there's anything else she can do for you.
Oh, that's very kind, but there isn't. Just can't get over the change that's come over her.
Just trying to be helpful.
Come on, I don't buy that for a minute. She's just scared. Since you had that talk with her, she's afraid you're going to fire her.
I think we ought to give her the benefit of the doubt. She is trying.
Yeah, anyway. Bennett, you and I have had an agreement to be totally honest with each other. All right, I want you to know something. I read this last page you have here, written on your novel, I guess.
Huh? How'd you like it?
Well, I don't know, because I don't understand it. All I can say is it was disturbing.
Now, Lisa, there's something you must remember about things that you read on that desk. It's fiction.
I know, you've told me that over and over again. You've also said that it was very personal.
Yes, it is.
I don't understand how it can be fiction, then, if you're going to use real names, like Ruth and Hester, and, I mean, that is, real.
Yes, in a way it is. But you see, writing this story down is a very purging experience for me. It enables me to get bottled up feelings out so I can examine them and file them away for good. Hopefully the reading public will be entertained by names that, like Ruth and Hester and Lisa, even though they don't know that they're real.
Lisa?
Yeah, of course. You're the very core of my final chapter.
San Francisco. Oh, a trip out there at this time of year sounds so exciting to me.
It's been a long time since we've been there, and it's such a lovely city.
Is Chris going out there on business?
Yes, he's been invited to address the convention, please.
Oh.
I was so pleased when he asked me to go along with him. The only trouble is we're going to have to call Lisa and tell her we won't be able to get to the wedding.
Oh, well, I'm sure she'll understand. Excuse me, Nancy. Hello?
Hello, dear.
Oh, yes, David.
Listen, I just want you to know that I'll be bringing Annie home with me straight from work for our little family get-together tonight.
Oh, good.
Is there anything we can pick up for you on the way home?
Well, maybe we could use a bottle of white wine. I'm fixing some lemon chicken that Nancy told me about. David, did you and Annie hear anything from Dee? Do you know if she's going to be with us?
She called Annie and said she wouldn't know for certain until she finds out Ian's schedule.
Oh, well, I guess we know what that means. Well, thanks for calling, David.
Okay, I'll see you later, honey.
Well, it looks as if Dee is going to be working late this evening again with Ian.
I gather she enjoys her job.
Enjoys it? Oh, Nancy, she lives it. I mean, it's not even a job to her. It's some sort of honor.
Well, it must be terribly exciting.
Well, I guess it is. She seems to be spending most of her time over there to the exclusion of most everything else.
I gather that Ian McFarland is the kind of person who inspires that sort of commitment. I know Dana is terribly excited about his new ballet.
Oh, yes. I've heard all about the ballet. Dee talks about it all the time.
I just hope that Dana gets her divorce quickly and is all through doing all of this work for Ian before Chris and I leave for San Francisco.
Why, Nancy?
Well, I know how much Bob loves her. I'll just rest easier if she'll finally make a clean break with this whole world that Ian still represents. Then she and Bob can start to make plans for their wedding.
Here you are. It's all pressed.
Thank you. Is something else?
I have to say something before you go to New York.
What?
Well, you know that I am against this marriage, but I'll learn to live with it. I'll stay on here, and I'll keep my place, and I will give your wife the respect that she deserves.
Glad to hear it.
But in exchange, you must promise me something.
What?
If those feelings begin again, the ones you can't control, you must promise to tell me before things get too far out of
Don't
hand.
ever talk to me about that again. If you ever tell Lisa about those last days with Ruth, I'll...
I know what you were going to say before you stopped yourself. That you would kill me. You hurt me. You don't know your own strength, Bennett.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, sir. I hope you have a pleasant stay in New York.
Thank you. I know we will. It's a beautiful suite.
Glad you like it.
Oh, yes. Oh, Bennett, I love the view. It's magnificent. Oh, I can see Central Park. The ice skating rink? Oh, darling, now listen, don't forget. We're going to take that carriage ride around Central Park, okay? Huh?
It's a little cold, isn't it?
Oh, come on. It's not nearly as cold here as it is in Norwich. Darling, come look at the view. Really, you must see that. It is spectacular. Come on.
All right.
Baby, what's wrong?
I'm sorry,
Oh, dear. You're getting one of those terrible headaches again.
yeah, they come on without any warning at all.
Look, why don't you just lie down for a minute?
It's this city. And the memories, I could feel the pressure building the minute we landed. So for both our sakes that Hester was wrong about our coming here. I'm sorry, I've got to lie down. Could you turn those lights out? They're right in my eyes.
Oh, yes, of course. Bennett, look, I know you're in a lot of pain, and I'm sorry to bring this up right now, but I couldn't help but think about it all the way in, coming in to New York today, and about our conversation that we had a little earlier, about, everything coming full circle, and then about what you had just written about, pray Hester was wrong. I really must know what you mean by that.
It's part of a novel, that's all.
Well, I know that's what you've said, but...
It's true. It's not reality, it's fiction. You've got to stop thinking that way, otherwise you'll get confused and frightened over nothing.
No, Bennett, I can't think of this as being nothing. It's because you said something... Just now you just said the same thing. Well, you said that you hoped that Hester was not right about our coming here, and that you had all these terrible memories as soon as you came back to New York.
I shouldn't have said that. I wasn't thinking. I'm sorry.
But if it's how you feel...
Those feelings will change as soon as this headache passes. Then we can go out and enjoy ourselves. I'm not gonna ruin our first evening in New York over this.
Darling, I'm not concerned about our first evening in New York. I'm not worried about that. It's just you. And look, sweetheart, I'm going to be your wife very soon. I want to know all about these headaches. I can't tell you how frustrating it is just to sit by and watch you suffer like this and not know what to do.
It helps just your caring.
While we're here in New York, maybe you should see a doctor. I mean, a specialist.
I've seen several specialists. They don't seem to be able to find anything physical that causes them.
Why, there ought to be something that can stop these attacks.
Well, one good thing about them, they seem to go away as quickly as they come, as suddenly as they...
I know. I remember let me see, I believe it was it was the last headache you had. It was the night you took me to the old Colonial Inn, the first time we went there together. And, oh yeah, that was the night Derek was...
Please, please, I'd hope you'd put all that sadness behind you. That's why we came here.
Yeah, I know.
It just doesn't do any good to think about those things.
All right, I'll try not to.
You know what you should do? You should take a shower and get unpacked and get dressed for an evening on the town.
All right. I'll do that. And, really, though, I don't care about an evening on the town. If you'd prefer just to stay here, it would be fine with me.
No, I want to go out. I'll just lie here and rest till my headache goes away.
All right.
One thing. What you said a little while ago about becoming my wife and knowing more about these headaches, you were right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is something that only Hester knows, and I don't want you to worry about it when I tell you.
What?
Sometimes the pain is so intense that that I can't remember everything that happens.
Bennett.
But it happened that night at the Colonial Inn when I came back to the table and you asked me what happened. I couldn't remember everything.
Well, you told me that you went out just to get a little fresh air and you took a little walk around the grounds.
I made that up so that you wouldn't be frightened. I don't know where I was while you were waiting for me.
As you know, Nancy, I lived in San Francisco for a long time, so I can guarantee you there are some very fine shops there.
And restaurants, too. We'll have to get your list.
I have already asked Grant to write out a list for us.
Oh, good. Oh, Dom.
Hi, Grandma.
Oh, is Tom coming over for dinner tonight, too, dear?
Well, he might as well. Why not? Dana and your father are going to be there, and Grant's just said that he'll come.
Thanks, but I'm afraid I've already got plans for tonight.
I'm going to shock you and not even ask who's included in those plans.
Well, it's no secret. Sheila Winston.
Oh? She sent me a very lovely book on flower arranging after she brought her over for dinner the other night.
She hasn't stopped talking about that evening and how much it meant to her.
Well, you'll have to bring her over again sometime.
Grant, you and I are going to have to set up a meeting to go over the firm's schedule for the time Nancy and I are away, huh?
Oh, sure, Chris. But I don't foresee any problems, though.
I think it's great that you're going along.
And he asked me without my even having to hint.
Well, the only thing we're sorry about is that we're going to miss your mother's wedding.
Oh, yes. We are very sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll be upset, but I'm also sure she'll understand.
Have you called her, Nancy?
Well, no, dear. Not yet. You know, she and Bennett are in New York now. I'll call her as soon as they get back home.
I'm still trying to talk Dad into going up there, but he says it's no place for ex-husbands.
I think he has a point. But knowing Lisa, I'm sure she'll be disappointed if he's not there.
Grant, I meant to ask you earlier, you haven't heard a thing from Jay, huh?
No, I haven't, Chris. But I asked Betty to send the final bill as he requested.
I'm so sorry about that.
Well, you're no sorrier than I am.
Carol's going to be very upset when she finds he's taking his business to another firm.
Well, so we'll just have to wait and see. I thought I would give Jay a few days to cool off, then we'll try to talk to him again.
Well, Chris, are you ready? I'm going to have to go home and see about dinner.
I'm all ready, dear.
I'll be over there shortly. I'm going to clear off my desk.
All right, good. Good night, Tom.
Good night. Good night. Well, I guess I'll be off, too. You know, Mary, you're looking awfully happy these days.
I am.
Sheila noticed it, too. You know, when we saw you the other night, she barely met you, but she said that you and Don look very much in love.
Shh, that's a secret.
Yeah, some secret.
I liked her, too. She's nice.
Yeah.
Well, hello, everybody.
Hey, Don, what's the matter? Did you have a bad afternoon in court?
No, it's routine. Matter of fact, we wrapped up the case ahead of schedule.
Oh, good. Well, see you tomorrow.
Bye, Tom.
Yeah,
Have a nice
yeah, good
night.
night.
You too.
Hey, you do look like something's bothering you.
Yeah, something is.
What?
Well, I hated to do it, but as Ralph's lawyer, I felt I had to. I got a hold of one of our clients who's a builder, and I had him call Merv Santini and get some quotes.
What'd you find out?
They were almost a third lower than what Jay was billed for.
Ooh. So, what does that mean?
That means one of two things. Either Santini is overbilling Jay to make up for the last time that Jay left him hanging, or Jay is trying to pull a fast one on Ralph.
What are you going to do?
Well, I'm not going to do anything until I talk to Ralph. His entire financial future is riding on this. And Mary, don't say a word about this to anyone, okay?
All right, Dee, I'll tell your mother.
Annie's going to stay with Andy in the kitchen until he finishes his supper.
Oh, I'll go out with him.
Oh, no, the two of them are having a good time together.
Sure.
Don't worry.
Well, I'm sorry that we won't be seeing you for dinner, but I understand.
Oh, dear.
Honey, Dee,
Yes, I know. She won't be with us tonight, will she?
I'm sorry.
You going to try Lois's house again?
Well, I thought I might as well. I don't know what good it will do because I've been calling for 45 minutes and there's been no answer.
You sure Betsy's supposed to be there?
Well, she called the bookstore and she said she was going to Lois's to study.
Well, dinner's going to be ready in 15 minutes if Betsy gets here.
Well, there's no rush. Maybe we can have a glass of sherry.
I guess I'll start the salad. Betsy.
been very worried about you.
Why? I mean, I know I'm a little bit late, but...
I'll say you are. I've been calling Lois's and there wasn't any answer. Where have you been?
Studying. We decided to study at Betty Lou's house instead.
Why didn't you let me know that?
I'm sorry, I just didn't think it mattered.
Yes, it mattered. It mattered a great deal. In fact, I think you and I are going to have a long talk about your schedule when we get home tonight.
Ruth, I'm so sorry. I never meant to. Ruth,